Raise your hand if you're ready for Christmas.
Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Everybody's ready? All right, put our hands down. And if you can remember way back to the very first Christmas, does anyone know what was the name of the town where the very first Christmas took place? Bethlehem, that's right. Everyone say Bethlehem. Bethlehem, right. So Bethlehem. And that's where we know baby Jesus was born, right?
Yeah.
But where was he born in Bethlehem? What was the place where he was born?
Like a little farm.
Yeah, kind of a little farm. What's another word for that?
Forgot.
Okay.
A stable.
A stable or a manger, right? But it's kind of like a barn. So think about a barn where you've been, or maybe that's at your house or one of your relatives' houses. What would be in a barn when you go in a barn? What's one thing?
I think sometimes there's animals.
Animals, right? What kind of animals?
Like there's like those babies where the horses stay. Like
Yeah,
Stables.
stables. Yeah.
There's
So
like
horses.
little
What else might be in a stable?
cows.
Cows. What else?
Hay.
Hay. What else?
Chicken and goat.
Chickens and goats.
Sheep.
Sheep.
Chicken.
Chickens.
Pigs.
Pigs.
Sheep.
Sheep. Yep. So let's think even smaller. Sometimes there's animals that are there that we can't even see
Goats.
because they're. So think about some of those. Who might be in there? You got an idea? A donkey, yeah, but I think we could see a donkey, right? But who might be hiding in the hay or in the rafters?
Mouse.
Oh, a mouse?
Oh,
Yeah, right?
Maybe a spider.
A spider, right? Some of those little animals too, okay? So let's put our hands down and let's think for a minute about some of the little animals that might have been in the stable with Jesus on the first Christmas. And we're going to read a story about one of them today. This is called Itsy Bitsy Christmas. Itsy Bitsy Christmas by Max Lucado and illustrated by Bruno Merz. What's an illustrator do?
He draws all the pictures.
Draws the pictures, right? Beautiful pictures in this book. So let's enjoy those as we go through it. Bitsy, watch out! Itsy grabbed his little sister's tail and pulled her back just in time. The big wagon rolled past and splashed them with mud. Be careful, Bitsy. You don't want to get run over. Bitsy jumped back and gulped. Her big eyes grew even wider. I've never seen Bethlehem so busy, she exclaimed. People everywhere, wagons rolling, cows mooing, donkeys pulling, and camels. Did you know that camels spit? Bitsy stepped away from the camel nearest her. What is going on, Itsy? Follow me and I'll show you, the older mouse replied. Who's here? The donkey, all right. Itsy took his sister's hand and they scampered to the top of the city wall. It's time to count all the people. Everyone has to go to their hometown and sign the big book. Bitsy looked around. This is a big day for Bethlehem. Big day indeed, said a deep voice behind them. Itsy and Bitsy turned. A donkey was talking to them. The mice were on the wall, so they could see him face to face. Whoa, you're big, said Itsy. I've never seen inside the nose of a donkey, he added, peering inside his nostril. Ew, Bitsy offered. All right. Who are you? She asked the donkey. I'm Daniel, from a faraway town. Are you here to be counted? No, he said very slowly. I'm here because of the king. What? Haven't you heard? The king is coming to Bethlehem. But Bethlehem is an itsy bitsy town, Bitsy explained. Why would a king come here? The king is special. He comes for everyone, big and small. Like us? Itsy asked. Like you. Bitsy turned, her whiskers bouncing. Itsy, we need to tell our friends. Yes, Itsy agreed. They will want to see the king, too. Would you want to see a king if they came to visit? Yeah, right? Get in line. Let's go. The mice dashed between feet, hooves, and rolling wagon wheels and ran toward their stable. They scurried under the gate, up the stable post, and onto their favorite rafter. From their spot high above the floor, they could see all their friends. Ruthie, the mama horse, was the biggest. Rowdy the rooster was perched on a rail. 6 sheep were crowded in the corner. Charlie the cow grazed on some hay. Grumpy the goat sulked in another corner. He never smiled. He was always mad at someone. Can you guys see? Can you find Grumpy? Do you find Grumpy? Yeah, there he is over here. All right. Itsy cupped his hands over his mouth and squeaked. Okay, everyone, gather in. We need to talk. No one moved. Bitsy tried. We have big news. No response. Bitsy turned to Rowdy the rooster. Can you help us? Sure, replied Rowdy. I love any excuse to make some noise. He leaned his head back and... The animals lifted their heads. Hey, groaned Grumpy the goat. Knock it off. I'm trying to nap. Itsy and I have big news. You're moving? Grumpy muttered. Grumpy, be nice, said Ruthie the mama horse. Itsy and Bitsy, tell us your big news. A king is coming to Bethlehem. To us. No one spoke for a long time. Then Rowdy crowed. A king to Bethlehem? That will never happen. The others snorted, bad, neighed, and mooed in agreement. They didn't believe them. Kings come to important places, offered the sheep. And to important people, agreed Grumpy. Not to places like Bethlehem, or to mice like you. Itsy and Bitsy, Ruthie the mama horse spoke up. I'm afraid this place is too common for a king. No king would care about us. Itsy looked at Bitsy. Well, Bitsy and I are going to find the king. Good luck with that, chuckled Grumpy. To see the king, to see the king! Bitsy zipped down the post and out into the street, but then she stopped. Itsy, where will we find him? Itsy paused a moment, placing his finger on his chin. Well, let's go somewhere where the important people go. To the city gate. Off they went. The leaders of the town sat at the city gate making decisions. Bitsy spotted a wise owl sitting on top of the gate. Mr. Owl, she shouted, we hear that a king is coming to Bethlehem. Have you seen him? A king in tiny little Bethlehem? You won't find a king here. So the king hadn't come to the wise ones at the city gate. Oh, who's this?
Camel.
Oh, yeah. I know, Itsy offered. Let's go where the camels live. Kings ride on camels, right? So the 2 mice scampered over to the camel corral.
They're the pretty one.
Mr. Camel, shouted Itsy, we are looking for a king. Have you seen him? Silly mouse, I've carried some very rich and important men in my day, but I assure you, they didn't come here. Kings don't come to common places like Bethlehem. But we talked to a donkey and... Never trust a donkey, snickered the camel. Itsy sighed. Where else can we look? Well, let's look everywhere, said Bitsy. The mice ran to the main street where the busy people rushed around. Lots of busy people, but no king. They ran to the hotel where the sleepy people spent time resting. Lots of sleepy people, but no king. They ran to the city market where the business people worked all day. Lots of working people, but no king. Finally, Itsy and Bitsy began to get tired. It was getting dark. Let's go home, Bitsy, Itsy sighed. Everyone is right. No king is coming for us. We aren't important enough. Bitsy started to object, but didn't. A tear formed on her cheek as they headed toward home. I always wanted to see a king. Now I guess I never will. But when the mice neared the stable, they saw Daniel the donkey, the same one who had told them about the king. Itsy and Bitsy ran up onto the stable fence. "We've looked all over the town for the king, and we couldn't find him." "Well," said the donkey in his low, slow voice, "you just did." Daniel motioned with his head to the center of the stable, where all the animals stood in a circle. The two mice scampered up a fence post and looked. A little baby was asleep in the manger. "Who is he?" asked Itsy. "He is the king," replied Ruthie. "Just like you said, a king has come to Bethlehem." Who is that? Jesus, right? Yeah. "His name is Jesus," explained Daniel the donkey. "God sent him to love us, help us, and to save us." "He came for me, even though I laughed at you?" asked Rowdy the rooster. "And for us, even though we doubted you?" said the sheep. "And me? I can get cranky," admitted Grumpy. Daniel smiled and nodded his big head. God sent Jesus for all of us. "Who would have thought," observed Itsy, "a king for everyone." A tiny tear of joy rolled all the way down Bitsy's nose. "He came," Bitsy said with a smile, "even for a little one like me." The end.